So in today's video, I want to go through some traps, some debt traps that keep America's middle class poor because nothing else says middle class than debt. And I want you guys to look out for this stuff. I want you guys to not be victims of this stuff because a lot of this is things that's pushed towards you, but also some things that you have to go through in terms of trying to get your finances in order. And I understand that, but you always be cognizant that you are going to pay worse off. You're going to be worse off in the end with these money traps, debt traps that aims to keep you poor. So without further ado, I'm going to get into the video. My name is Adrian. If this is your first time here, I make money videos talking about personal finance, investing, and anything else to get you to get ahead financially. So if that sounds good to you, leave a like for the video, subscribe, become part of the family. New videos every single week. Now, let's get on with the video. Now, this first and most prevalent trap that I see keep a lot of people poor, and it's pushed in society, it's pushed in the news, the newspapers, it's pushed by your friends, it's pushed by your family, and it's even probably pushed by you. And you know what that is? It's buying a house. Now, a house is a business decision, but so many people get it wrong because they buy a house out of emotion. And that's why majority of people lose when they try to buy a home. You should try to buy a home that you can get great equity on just off the first day you sign the deal. And then hopefully over time that equity grows and grows and grows. But what a lot of people do is they have a budget, they get pre-qualified. But what happens when you go for pre-qualification? The bank is going to give you as much money as they possibly can. As much money as your credit says is allowed, they're going to try to give that to you because the more money you borrow, the more you have to pay in interest. And that means more money for their bottom line, more money for their CEO bonuses, and so on and so forth. So you're footing the bill for that. And then on the other hand, you might think your realtor is on your side, but guess what? The bigger the purchase price, the bigger the commission for your realtor. So they're not on your side either. But how can we blame the banks and the realtors? They have real money that's going to be made for this transaction. But why don't you blame yourself? Because a lot of you guys out there, you are getting the short end of the stick when you buy these houses, and you are happy to get the short end of the stick because you want to keep up with the Joneses. You want the house in the best neighborhood, and I understand for the people who have kids that they want to get into a good school district, I do understand that aspect of it. But sometimes you want to have the great crown molding, the vaulted ceilings, the great kitchen island, the extra bedrooms for hosting, and all these things that you think you're going to do, but you don't end up doing anyway. When you have this home, it leads to another money trap that's going to keep you poor. And that's because you can't make ends meet because you're working too much, but the money's still just not enough. And that is payday loans. When you are starting to get payday loans, you know you are in trouble. You know you are up creek, right? You know what that means, right? So do not get payday loans for any reason whatsoever. I know a lot of times it's unavoidable. And then when you are starting to roll the ball in that debt trap, when you are starting to roll the ball in that negative money trap, it's hard to get out of. I understand that, but it's not going to help you. All you're doing is putting a band-aid on a problem. All you're doing is kicking the can down the road. But what happens is you get this payday loan, the interest rates are crazy, out of this world. You can't keep up with the payday loan. So you have to get one payday loan to turn into two payday loans to pay for the first payday loan. And the cycle continues and continues and continues. And this is where stress comes in. This is where a lot of people get divorced because money is one of the main causes of divorce. And it starts with trying to buy a home that you cannot afford. Then you can't pay the bills. You get into payday loan debt. And that is just a recipe for a disaster. You work so hard. So why is it that some loan shark is the one that's getting rich off of your money? Now, that is to the 9 to 5 people. They work hard. They try to get payday loans. But there's a sinister thing that people who want to go into business, they do this as well. And this is getting hard money loans, getting business loans for an idea for a business that they haven't even tried out yet, right? I'm a serial entrepreneur, but every single thing I can honestly say that I have tried, I have either used my own money or money of people who want to partner with me, not some bank, not some third party lender, not some hard money lender, not any outside entity other than the people who want to put some skin in the game to build a business. Because this is why most businesses fail, right? You see the statistics on how businesses fail, and they fail because they have hard money loans, business loans, zero down loans that they try to get to start a business. But when that happens is People underestimate how long it takes to make a profit in business. It's very hard. Entrepreneurship is very hard, and you're going to run into things that you'd never even expected that you're going to run into. You don't know what you don't know. You know how that saying goes. And when you start an entrepreneurial venture, when you start a business venture, you cannot foresee the future of the things that are going to come your way. And so when you start to make a little bit of money, instead of being able to put that money back into the business for that business to grow, you have to start to pay this hard money loan. I see it happen a lot of times with house flippers, right? They want to do the BRRRR method. They want to borrow the equity of the first home to put a down payment on the second home, and so on and so forth, right? And when they do that, they're playing a very dangerous game, because famously, you know, Dave Ramsey, this is the game that he tried to play, and that led him into bankruptcy. That's why he's so anti-debt. And you have all the spreadsheet hipsters out there that try to calculate and say, oh, Dave Ramsey's wrong for not going after debt because you can leverage debt, you can borrow money and use lower interest rates to go and make more money over here. Okay, fine. You can do all of that. It's mathematically possible. But what happens when you have a pandemic hit and you didn't realize that it was going to hit? A lot of people lost their shirts because they were so leveraged with business debt because they could not see, they could not foresee what could happen in the future. And the best way to avoid all liability is to just not get into it in the first place. If you are in debt and you need help getting out of debt, I have a debt elimination ebook. It's a 10-day guide. It will absolutely help you with that. So check that in the link in the description down below, as well as give this video a like if it's giving you some value so far, you're learning something so far, and always just subscribe to the channel. New videos every single week on topics on money, personal finance to help you get better in this avenue of your life. Another sinister debt trap that keeps a lot of people poor, and it's more preying on poor people. You more see them in lower class neighborhoods, poor neighborhoods, and these are title pawn shops. There's certain neighborhoods, if you've ever driven down certain streets, I don't know if some of you live in these types of neighborhoods, but you will see these title pawn shops every single place. Pawn shops, title pawn, jewelry pawn, all types of things, right? And sometimes we might not even know that our family is dealing with this stuff. Your great grandmother probably sold off a family heirloom to pay the mortgage one time, right? The great family ring, the great family crest, and so on and so forth. And these are also predatory businesses. They do not care if you pay the money back. What they want to do is they made the interest rate so high that you get into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cycles of paying or extending this loan. So eventually you pay all of the money that you borrowed in the first place. But guess what? Because of the interest rates, you're still paying on interest. And if you're unable to pay that interest, then you lose the item that you pawned. You lose your car if you use the title pawn. And how does that keep you poor? Because in the short term, you might have needed a couple $100s, a couple $1,000s, and you're thinking, okay, I pawn, use my title for my car, it's paid off. Cool, I bring it in, and then boom, I go and pay for the thing that I needed to pay for. But guess what? Life happens, and everything that can go wrong will go wrong. Murphy's Law. So you got the title pawn loan, you tried to deal with the thing that you had to deal with, but guess what? Something else comes up, and now you can't get that lien off your car. Now you can't get that title back. Now you can't get that family heirloom back, and you're in this cycle. And then eventually you give up and you lose your car, you lose your family heirloom, you lose your valuable stuff. And listen, this doesn't just happen to poor people, middle class people. It's a trap that affects high net worth people as well. I've seen athletes have to pawn Super Bowl rings, NBA rings, you know, collectible trophies and items, right? So this happens to all sorts of people, and these things are predatory, and this is what they use to keep people poor. I want to talk about this, right? And you guys know I hate this thing. And this is credit cards. They're designed to keep you poor. And I say getting ahead financially, right? Because they push this stuff about get a good credit score. You can have zero down car notes. You can fly in the Delta Lounge. You can get Sky Miles. You can get hotels. You can get free tickets to Taylor Swift and Beyonce. This is all a trap. They give you this sugar. They give you this upfront thing to trigger your dopamine, to trigger your FOMO, right? Because you want to be in the in crowd. You want to be in the Delta Lounge. You want to be at the Taylor Swift concert. You want to do all of these things and get all of these perks. But you have to understand, credit card companies are capitalist entities, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm a capitalist. I endeavor to make a profit with all of my businesses. But how I operate, I don't want to make a profit at the expense of somebody else. I want when someone gives me money so I can make a profit in my business, they're getting a great value back. And sure, you might say, well, credit cards give you a great value back. But how are they making a profit then? If you are paying off your credit cards every single month, paying zero interest, and then you're getting all these perks, getting all these sky miles, how are they then making a profit? It stands to reason if everyone was doing this, then they would run out of business because they could not afford to keep giving every single body these perks. Oh, but wait, the trick is they know that certain people, yes, are going to pay off the credit card. They know that certain people are going to get all the sky miles, all the tickets, and so on and so forth, and use it in the way that it was intended to. But what they're banking on is the grand majority of people falling by the wayside, stop making their payments. It starts with you not paying your bill in full 1 month. Then the next month you pay a little bit less. Then the third month you start paying the minimum payments. And after you start paying the minimum payments for a couple of months, guess what? Now you get your first missed or late payment. And that's how the cookie crumbles. That's how the ball gets rolling. So if you want to get out of these money traps, these debt traps, I promise you, these things are designed to keep you poor. You should avoid them at all costs. And these are credit cards. And finally, I just want to say car payments. Please just don't. This is another thing that's made to keep you poor. These are debt traps. These are debt prisons. I see right now they're giving out 96-month car payments. That's so many months that I can't even tell how many years that is off the top of my head. Is that 6 years, 7 years? It sounds like 10 years. What it sounds like is a prison sentence, right? No offense to anybody who might have been to prison, but I'm just saying, if you want to get ahead financially, a car note is not the way, my guys. A car note is not going to get you there. A car note is the exact opposite of what you want. A car note is a debt trap made to keep you poor. Most of these cars today are reliable. Get a reliable used car. Buy something for cash, $5,000, $6,000. I know it sounds like a lot of money, but you'd be surprised how easily you can save $5,000, $6,000 with some discipline, some good money mindset, and just understanding that delayed gratification is the way to go, right? I say that all the time. Do not fall for these debt traps. The car dealership is not your friend. He's gonna pat you on the back, say, yeah, let's get you into something, buddy. You look like you're this type of guy, buddy. Buddy, 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 buddy. Well, if he was your buddy, why would he give you a $700 per month car note when you only on a 50K salary? That's not something a friend would do. My friends wouldn't do that. Would your friends do that? Right? For 72 months, 96 months. Now, 18 months into this car note, you're like, dang, I still got like 60 months left. What the heck? I thought John from the car dealership was my buddy. Is he not, or is he? You tell me. So stay away from these debt traps because they're going to keep you poor. Okay? My name is Adrian. I want to help you to get financially aware, financially free, and all these things. Sign up for the weekly newsletter. Get your debt elimination ebook down in the description down below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, become a member of the family. Until next time, peace.